Do you want to live in one of the hottest neighborhoods around San Diego County? No, you probably don't. Let me explain. My name is Dan Parker with the Best Life Home Team, your San Diego real estate resource. And at this point, I've literally been on hundreds of calls with people wanting to move to San Diego. And there are some specific neighborhoods that come up a lot as like the most desired places they want to live. But the interesting thing is those neighborhoods are certainly not the neighborhoods that most of our clients end up in. In fact, they end up being some of the rarest neighborhoods our clients end up in. So I'm going to talk about these neighborhoods that they want to live and where they actually end up so you can decide, for better or for worse, where are the best neighborhoods for you in San Diego County. So probably the number one request I get is that people want to live in a walkable community, which makes sense. If you're thinking about moving to San Diego, you're going to be spending more money on housing, then you want to live in an area that you can walk around in. The truth is, that's fairly rare in San Diego. There are coastal communities, and then there are the neighborhoods surrounding Balboa Park. The most popular of those is going to be North Park. I've had so many people reach out originally wanting to live in North Park. It's interesting how few of them actually end up living there. And it makes sense. I mean, there are a lot of restaurants and cafes, bars and shops. You are also next to one of the biggest gems in San Diego, which is Balboa Park. You have access to the golf course, the disc golf course. They have a sports complex. They have playgrounds and just tons of open grass and shady areas to hang out during the day. What's interesting about this area, it's not just an area that tourists like to visit, like locals like to hang out in North Park as well. It's located very centrally in San Diego. It has very charming Spanish and Craftsman style homes, but it also doesn't have quite the density that downtown San Diego has, which is another positive. But there are some downsides of this area. This is why probably 9 out of the 10 people that reach out originally saying they want to live in North Park when they're talking to me don't end up living here. The main one, you're going to see this a lot today, is going to be affordability. Although I'm going to say out of the affordability list, this area can be somewhat affordable. So for a single family home, you're looking at around $1.2 million is going to be the median price in North Park. But if you are willing to live in something like a condo attached on the sides, you can expect to pay closer to like $600,000. You can find opportunities that are cheaper than that, opportunities that are more than that. The average for a condo in North Park is going to be $587,000. I would say for this area, the real reason why a lot of people don't end up living here is because these homes, as charming and as beautiful as a lot of these Spanish and Craftsman style homes are, they're 100 plus years old in a lot of cases. And so you're talking about older building materials. You're talking about blueprints and footprints of homes that are going to be much smaller than today's homes. You're talking about smaller lots. And so these are going to end up being a lot of challenges for buyers. The thought of living in one of these really cool homes is really fun. But then when you think of the reality and think of the inspections and the foundations don't feel square just walking around, the layouts are going to be funky because of funky additions over time to expand these homes out. A lot of times it just doesn't really make sense, especially when you could go out just a few miles and get bigger, nicer, newer homes. So most common for people that originally start looking in North Park end up in the suburbs that aren't too far away. So you have the suburbs right around Mission Trails Regional Park. This is a really, really popular area. You have San Carlos, Tierra Santa, Allied Gardens, El Cerrito, even Santee could be an option if you're looking for more affordability. These are some close suburbs where you can get a little bit newer homes. So instead of 100-year-old homes, you're looking at homes that are built in the 60s and 70s. A lot of these homes have been renovated. If you're willing to go to Santee, you can get even more affordability than that, even newer homes than that. So really, if you're looking at affordability and size of homes, you can be very close to North Park. You can still get there in a 10-minute drive or less, but you can have more home, more yard. And a lot of times when the reality of looking for a home in San Diego, that's what people end up leaning towards. The second area that a lot of people actually reach out wanting to live in is a bit surprising to me, but it's going to be Claremont. This is actually very close to San Diego Bay, very close to the beaches, very close to a lot of the major universities. And so the proximity and the location, I think, is going to be one of the bigger reasons why people want to live here, especially if they want to live in a single family home. They're willing to live in a little bit older of a home, but they want to have that prime location and be close to the beaches. But most people just don't end up here. And again, affordability is going to be one of the main reasons. You're looking at very close to $1.3 million for the median price home in Claremont, but you're talking about older homes, now not 100-year-old homes, but homes that were built in the 50s. These neighborhoods, these homes are not going to have HOAs. They're going to have a lot of overhead power lines. They're going to have smaller streets. They're going to have limited community landscaping. And some homes and neighbors have been, some homes have been owned for decades without any repairs or upgrades. So when you're driving through the neighborhoods in Claremont, although this is fairly close to the median single-family home in San Diego County, the actual quality of the home that you're getting, you can feel a little bit underwhelmed. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm trying to make a broad generalization for an entire area based on what our clients end up ultimately doing. So Claremont, there are some neighborhoods, some streets, some homes that are wonderful. They're really, really great. I would highly recommend. Claremont in general, there are a lot of streets and a lot of homes that are underwhelming. A lot of times when someone is looking in Claremont, they want a single family home. They're okay with a little bit of an older home that has been renovated. If you go somewhere like Serra Mesa, which is another, mile and a half inland from Claremont, it's not too far away, very similar streets. I think the streets are a little bit nicer. And the exact same home from Claremont to Serra Mesa is going to be around $100,000 cheaper. So you can get just enough more affordability to be okay with paying that price. The other areas that people end up that are originally looking in Claremont, I think all the areas I had mentioned around Mission Trails Regional Park, San Carlos, Allied Gardens, Tierra Santa are definitely some areas that make sense. Also, going up to Mira Mesa, Poway, those could be some other great options as well. Third on this list is going to be one of my personal favorite communities throughout San Diego County, which is Encinitas. And why it's so popular? I mean, this is the North County dream in San Diego County. You're coastal, you're right on the ocean. It's a very nice community, has a very much a locals feel. The beaches are incredible. The restaurant scene, the downtown area, all of it's really, really fantastic. And compared to a lot of other coastal areas, it's pretty dang easy to get in and out of. But the number one reason people don't live here is going to be median price point. And this much more than the previous ones I was talking about. We're talking about a single family home, median price point of $2.25 million in Encinitas. And on top of that, even if you can afford living or buying a house in Encinitas, the availability isn't quite there as much as other places like Carlsbad. I mean, the population of Encinitas is about half. It's like 60,000 versus 110,000 in Carlsbad. You're going to find a lot more opportunity. And by the way, if you want to know what's so great about these areas, I've actually done full neighborhood tours on just about every single community I'm mentioning. So I'm going to drop all of that at the end of the video. Now, where people end up when they don't end up in Encinitas shouldn't be too much of a surprise because I was just talking about it. They typically end up going farther north in San Diego County because that's where you can start to find more affordability. If you look at somewhere like Carlsbad, where the median single family home is going to be $1.8 million, you're talking about a 20% value increase or a 20% more affordability on these homes versus Encinitas for very nice, newer suburbs in North County, San Diego, that is coastal. That's where my wife and I ended up when we started in Encinitas. And then if you keep going north, you could go up to Oceanside, which is going to be the next north coastal community, the northernmost coastal community in San Diego County, where the median price single family home is $915,000. And that's going to vary a lot depending on Oceanside's another very large place like Carlsbad. Depends if you're going to be farther east, farther north, or farther west. The pricing is going to change, quite a bit there. I've actually been thinking about doing an entire video on Encinitas versus Carlsbad versus Oceanside, because a lot of times this is a really difficult decision for people based on their affordability, what they can afford, looking at one versus the other. But the general rule of thumb, if you're looking at like properties in one place to the next, you're going to find that Carlsbad's about 20% cheaper than Encinitas, and then Oceanside is about 20% cheaper than Carlsbad. And for number 4, we are going to another coastal community here in San Diego, probably the most exquisite, the most wonderful, the most sought-after coastal community in San Diego, which is La Jolla. If you've gone this far in the video, I'd be surprised if you don't know the reasons why La Jolla is so special, so sought-after, so expensive. But it has some of the best views in San Diego County. It has some high-end restaurants, boutiques, shops. It has some very custom, very luxury homes. I mean, just think of it as an upscale, the most upscale, potentially, coastal community in San Diego. In fact, I think if a lot of people that don't live in San Diego would just close their eyes and envision what a beach day in San Diego, like visiting San Diego, would look like, they would envision a day in La Jolla, a sunny, beautiful day in La Jolla, going to the shops, going to the restaurants, checking out the views. It's a wonderful place. But that doesn't come without downsides. Number one, the commute in and out of La Jolla is horrendous. I mean, it's one of the most challenging parts of this area. There's like basically one way in and out. You could technically go down through Pacific Beach, but that's going pretty far out of the way. That road gets extremely backed up if you're going to be coastal La Jolla. And so if you have a job that you have to go in and out of La Jolla every single day, that's a tough pill to swallow. If you're working from home or retired, which there's definitely a large retired community in La Jolla, then hey, not so bad. You can get basically everything that you need in La Jolla, in the community. There's shopping all around. But if you have to go in and out, I think that's a big reason why people aren't going to live there. Number two, I mean, affordability is absolutely going to be part of this as well, where the median condo, the median like attached property is $1.2 million, almost, 1.25, 1.2425 is going to be the median price condo in La Jolla, and the median price single family home is a staggering $3.4 million. And that could go way up from there. I mean, if you're talking about some unique luxury custom homes with, lots of ocean views, these properties can get to 10, 20, 30, $40 million and above. There's no doubt this is one of the most expensive communities throughout San Diego County. So where do people end up when they originally want to live in La Jolla? Well, if they're okay with not being on the coast, you can go somewhere like University City, which is just going to be just to the east. You can find, obviously, more affordability. You can still find single family homes. You have the proximity. It's really easy to get over to the beach when you actually want to go to the beach. But still, if you have to drive to work, if you have to commute other places, you're not going to be stuck getting in and out of La Jolla. You can also go to some of the other coastal communities. So you can get down to Pacific Beach, which is going to be just south of La Jolla, where the median single family home is $2.17 million and a median condo is going to be $850,000. Or you could go down to Ocean Beach, where the median single-family home is 1.6 and the median condo is $615,000. You can find a lot more affordability versus La Jolla in both of those coastal communities. Or if you're really after that upscale lifestyle, you can go somewhere like Sorrento Valley or Carmel Valley, which are both very close. And then you still have access to La Jolla, access to Del Mar, very highly ranked schools, newer communities. These are very sought after communities. They're still, I would never call these affordable communities. They're definitely on the higher end of expense, but you have that upscale lifestyle. You have really nice shopping centers. You have highly rated school districts. There's a lot, not much not to like about this area. If you want to move to San Diego, consider what neighborhoods are best for you. Most of the time, it's not the first place that you were thinking of. And that's why I make these videos. It's to help people through the process. You don't have to do it all alone. If you're considering a move to San Diego, even if you don't know where to start, I'd be happy to hop on a call and help. Like I've mentioned in the beginning, I've done hundreds of these, and I'd be happy to help you as well. We call these discovery sessions, and there's a link down below. But if you're here for just more information about San Diego and the different neighborhoods, I'm going to throw a bunch of different videos around right here of my favorite neighborhood tours. Check them out.